Welcome to Adventures of a Wallflower. I am your host, JD Morgan. Hello again. I know it's been a while, at least 3 to 4 weeks since my last episode, and it has been a roller coaster of emotion and life just lifing. So, welcome to episode 9. Where do we go from here? So, as it stands right now, I am currently recording this episode. Actually, recorded this episode in Jamaica, as I am no longer in Trinidad at this moment, and I'm back home in my home country for a while. And the reasons for my absence was because there was carnival happening back in Trinidad when I was there. And then for a moment in time, I just didn't have the voice to do any recording. Not that my voice went away, but it would have sounded a lot more muffled and just confidence wasn't there, right? Which now brings me to my first point on my discussion for this week. End of a decade. So I recently resigned from my job of 11 years. That was very hard to do. Things just weren't going the way they were supposed to go, and I needed a change, at least a break, to be honest, from all the stress that's been happening in life. Right, so I was just home, back in Trinidad, just there, thinking of what next to do. And my mind was clear. I was confused. I've had a vacation in at least a year, so, decided to come back home to Jamaica. And all I want to say, I understand how things can be when everything is falling apart and you don't understand what's your next move, or you just don't understand why it's happening, and sometimes you're just lost. And it's going to take a while to find yourself or find where you need to be. I do know that within this time, I've figured out what next I will be doing with this podcast, but we'll speak on that a bit closer to the end. Right. So it's been quite an emotional first part of the year. 10 years, 11 years in a job. That's quite a lot of time. And then 16 years in a country that is technically not your home country. I mean, it's my second home country now, but yeah, it just brings with it a lot of emotions. And while I know it's not the end that I won't not see Trinidad again, it will be for a bit of time while I explore what's happening in Trinidad and reconnect with friends and family here in the land that is Irie, if you know what I mean. So, leading into my next point, hidden pain behind a smile. I tend to be an observer rather than a talker. I do listen, or at least try my best to listen to others and understand their point of view. And around this time as well, I would have seen a lot of people, friends, in pain as well, under stress, trying to provide for their families, or just themselves, or even, same as me trying to figure out what next to do. Some people would have made some moves, while some of us would have still been stuck on not knowing what next to do. I just want to let you all know, I see your pain, I understand it, and I'm always here to listen as well. Even if I don't understand, I will always lend a ear and even a shoulder. I don't know how that song goes, but it's a song. Lean on me, even when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. 1, 2. I don't know, but yeah, probably could help me with that lyrics. Anybody's listening. And this is where I advocate for mental health. right? Always try to seek out support, whether by psychologists or just speaking with family, friends, or even a stranger. Just saying hello. You never know what your smile will do to someone else. Bring about their day, make it much better. Give them the strength to keep pushing on. So even if I don't see my way, I'll try my best to give courage to others so that you will see your way. Maybe in the end that will help me. All while this change has been happening to me in the first part of the year. I've also been dealing with it since last year as well. And it's only this year I had to make a choice. A very hard one, and I would have missed, and I am missing the people that I would have met in my work and Trinidad on a whole. And as well, I would have sought my psychologist in doing a pre-screening or a screening rather of ADHD, which I was formally diagnosed the day before my last day at my job as inattentive ADHD, which for those who don't know means your brain sometimes has a harder time focusing and staying on task. Like when you're trying to listen in class or finish your homework, but it doesn't mean you're lazy or bad at anything, right? And it's like you just have a harder time to pay attention and stay focused and follow instruction. But it doesn't involve hyperactivity or impulsivity. Rather, for me, in the attentive type, my brain is generally always daydreaming, thinking about a lot of different things at almost the same time. That's the reason if you know me personally, one-on-one conversations will be much better for me. And I am a bit of a slow talker. So do bear with me. So let's read a bit more definition or rather things to make you guys understand if you don't. So think of your brain like a car. Sometimes it's hard to keep the car going in one direction and it can be easy to get distracted or forget things. I'm actually using AI to read this out, which is actually quite good to be honest. And say the common challenge is focusing, right? So I find it difficult to concentrate on things that aren't super interesting or exciting. I think I'm gonna have a lot of hard time to have people understand this. And I myself, I'm only really understanding all of this. And I've been grappling with all of that since the beginning. Well, February, since mid-February, following directions. Sometimes I forget what I'm told, or trouble remembering all the tasks, well, the steps to the task, and the tasks themselves. So, for me personally, I always like someone to send me messages on what to do, so that I can always go back over it, see what the steps are, and what next to do, and so forth. Sometimes I'm very neat, right? I'll put away things so good, but the problem I have now is I can't remember that they exist or even where they are. And so that's moving from staying organized to forgetfulness. It is a bit crazy. And I'm always leaving the house and coming back to pick up something. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I've been grappling with. It's the reason why I haven't recorded an episode in a while. And I honestly wasn't going to share this on the podcast anytime soon, but I think I just mention it a bit so that everyone else that's listening could understand a bit, right? And with what transpired has afforded me to rather be more empathetic to others and be more understanding on a whole that everything is not black and white, right? It's sometimes, well, you should know, if you mix black and white, you'll get gray. And you get different type of shades of gray, different shades of black and white, and all these type of stuff. So everything is not always as they seem. Everybody is going through something. So that's why we should be a bit more mindful. Right? Right. What's next book wise? I believe I would have mentioned that I'm basically finished with my second collection of poetry. So now it's in the editing and reviewing phase. Do not know how long that will take for me to actually publish it. But I could tell you the title, which I believe I've mentioned a few times, The Vault of Heaven. And it has about 95 poems so far. Yes. Right? And I even have a second collection that I basically just created a list of the poems that I want to put into that. And that's going to be a bit more neutral. It's not going to be like in the series of The Vault of Heaven or, in a sense related to the silent love. It's going to be a book for him or her, like a couple type of thing, for a husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, or for people who swing the other way, whatever way that is. That's fine. I might not be, open to certain things, but I can acknowledge that there are things that exist that I might not be a part of. That's fine. You're still human. And even next, a third book actually that's a bit more of the, you could say, raunchy side, a bit more erotica, so to speak. Not really my forte, but I do have a bit of poems, for that type of mode. And I have sent in some contributions to an anthology series, which I believe should be dropping around August this year, 2025. Or rather, I shouldn't say August, I should say tentatively from August to the end of the year. Once I get more information on that, I will be dropping the details. You could look forward to poems in that, and most likely be presenting my first short story as well. Right. What's next podcast wise? I will be doing a rebranding of this podcast. It still be called the Adventures of a Wallflower, but I'll be getting a new logo, right? And as I didn't say at the beginning of this episode, this is actually the last episode in season 1. And in season 2, which should follow next week, we will be starting with, or I should say, next season, we'll be start doing interviews. Not each episode won't have an interview, but we should have at least 1 to 2 interviews each month. And that interviews, these are people that I would have met throughout my life, entrepreneurs, people, very talented people from different backgrounds. So look out on my socials for more info. Once it's confirmed, I will post what my next episode will be about and who I'll be interviewing. Right? So, yes, that's it. Welcome back. And let me leave you with a bit of poetry entitled Adieu. With the pale and cool night that passed, with each smoky white cloud that danced, on the second to last Saturday of the 3rd month, through the calm and witty sky after midnight, each silhouette that moved to the beat of my heart reminded me of moments I'll forever treasure, faces in the distance I hope to never forget, places within sight that I will never regret. I hope to see the sun smile before I bid adieu. And for my other socials, you can check out my website at www.jd-morgan.com and Instagram page with handle j.d.morgan morgan_writes. As well as on Facebook, you could search for the profile j.d.morgan. And I am also on TikTok as j.d.morgan_writes. And if you've read my book, kindly go to Goodreads and search for my author name or the book itself and give a review, a very honest review. Thank you. And if you're just joining me on my journey, thank you. Be sure to collect a copy of The Silent Love, a collection of thoughts and imagery conveyed through words. Do note, the book is available in Trinidad at Scribbles and Quills, in Chaguanas, the Bar Bookshop in Couva, Metropolitan Bookstore in Port of Spain, the JD Collection in Port of Spain, and Shock and Stock Bookseller at the Falls at West Malls. And internationally, it is available on the Balboa Press Bookstore, Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, eRand, and other major online sellers. Do note, only the softcover is available in Trinidad, and softcover, hardcover, and ebook is available online. Be sure to get your copy. Now, please make sure and like, subscribe, and share my podcast with your friends and family. And join me on another episode next week.